Hey there! So this is number 2 of five more steps to having more orgasms during sex. This is for you as a woman, or you as anyone who is intimate with a woman and want to understand some little tips and techniques as to how to maximize the pleasure. Yeah, so in part 1 of this video we spoke about get to know your body. So now another step on top of that is honor your body and communicate. So once we get to know what our body likes and what it doesn't like, the next stage of that is to really respect that and honor that, because I know so many women, perhaps all women, that have allowed a partner to enter us before we're ready, or that have allowed hard and fast to happen when we're really not ready, or not feeling hard and fast in the moment. You know, there's many times that I think for many of us women that think that we should be there to please our partner and we should allow whatever they're doing to happen even though it's not aligned with what we're feeling in the moment. And I mean, for many years I was guilty of this. For many years that, you know, I would put on this pressure to kind of be active and go for it, and this actually takes away from the woman's female sexual pleasure to open. Right? When you're kind of battering on something, open, come on, get high. And it's like, no, you know, more and more with time, there's like closing down. So female sexuality is really allowing that unfolding. And we as women, and for anyone, but I mean, particularly I'm speaking to we as women, it is up to us to honor that, to honor where we are at, moment to moment during sex, and trusting in that, honoring it, trusting in it, not judging it, not making it, you know, think that it should be different, or you should be of higher energy by now, or you should whatever. Like honoring that and then communicating that to your partner, and in a loving way and in a positive way, like not a kind of a oh, I don't like when you do that, because that's gonna trigger your partner's own rejection and failings and all of this. So finding a positive way to communicate that, oh, can we make it more like this now, or showing through your body language, but whatever way that you choose, like really honoring where your body is at. And it's through this developing the trust, the intimacy, the connection into your body, into your energy flow, and honoring that really gives a solid foundation for your sexuality to open and the energy to build and to unfurl in a beautiful way. So number 2 is the breath. Big subject, huge subject. The breath is an incredible tool for maximizing our sensitivity, for maximizing our pleasure. When we breathe very shallowly, we're not receiving in the full capacity for life, for energy, for pleasure. Right? So when we breathe deeply into the belly, we automatically give ourselves the possibility to experience that much more pleasure. What we can have a tendency to do is, when we're getting close to orgasm, to stop breathing, to tense up in the lower abdomen, the pelvis, tighten it up, and, you know, really let the energy build, which is a great technique for having that explosive genital-based orgasm. Boom! I've done it! I've orgasmed! Wow! And that's great to a point. Like, we love those genital orgasms. And there are many different kinds of orgasms. There are many different kinds of ways that we can receive pleasure. And when we hold the breath, we keep the energy locked right down there in the genitals. Right, so that's great, right? Because it can build it up there and it can bring us to orgasm there. And when we breathe deeply, we can move the energy, like naturally kind of disperses the energy through the body, and we can breathe it up through our system. So this may take longer it may or may not take longer to really build the energy, build the charge up enough to reach orgasm. But when you do, it can be that much stronger, because this deep breaths, continuous like deep breaths that really allow the energy to circulate, build, not just there right down in the genitals, but through the whole body. So then when we reach orgasm, wow, we orgasm through the whole body, and it can be that much more of a profound experience, physically and emotionally, spiritually, connecting with our partner. So yeah, you can work with the breath in many different ways, but in general, to be generous. Like if you notice that you're kind of holding, because also when we don't want to feel or we're not feeling safe, we have a tendency, it's a natural protective mechanism, to not really breathe very deeply. So we breathe just very shallow up here in the chest, just a little bit of air, and that it's keeping us really up here. It's keeping us, we tend to live very much up here. So by breathing deep into the belly, we're really engaging, connecting the whole body, and our experience can be that much deeper, that much stronger, that much more intense and pleasurable. So, number three is about finding other practices to really get into your body, even before you come together with your partner or before you start into foreplay or sex. So, have you found like that you go straight from your to-do list, or straight from watching a movie, or straight from putting the kids to bed, or whatever it is, into, okay, now we're in bed, now let's have sex, and your head is still somewhere else? Like if I've been watching a movie, to go from like movie into sex is like, what? Like it's so much harder to really be present in the moment. And for me, sex is all about being present, right? It's all about being really deeply present with what is here and now. And if we're still thinking about what happened in that scene, or our long list of to-dos, or what we're going to be doing tomorrow, or whatever it is, it's very hard to make that adjustment into present moment and into the body. So this is an invitation to find some other practice as a kind of a go-between. Like, so we're moving from, we're in head, like fully mind, to-dos, movie, whatever it is, we're like in head, and we want to get to in the body and in the energy during the sex. So how can we bridge the gap to make the easing into sex more conducive, really, like easier to just get there, get present, get in the body. So for example, I love to dance. This is already some way that can already come out of the mind and come more into connection here, into move, into feeling the muscles, into feeling your feet on the ground, into connecting into this present moment. If your partner wants to join you in this and have a sexy dance together, that's great. But just making sure that it's not like a performance, it's not, disconnected when we dance also with a partner. It can be that we go into the connection that isn't really connected into ourself. So first we need to really connect in, and from there meet a partner. Yeah, so dance, or maybe it's through singing, through playing music, through whatever tools that you have to bring you slightly more into connection with your body, with your breath, with your voice, with present moment. So then, number 4. So we're talking about sounding. Sounding, movement and the breath are three incredible tools for really bringing us into present moment, for getting the energy moving, and for really unlocking all of this, the stuff like the body is held and the mind is thinking, and they're great tools for helping us to really move the energy, and through moving the energy, this allows greater and greater pleasure. So sounding, allowing generous free flow of sound. So that's separate, let's distinguish that from faking sound. Like, I'm not one for faking anything at all. It's just, ultimately, it's not going to lead to increased pleasure, genuine, real, deep pleasure. So, but allowing the sound to emerge, noticing if you have some thought in your mind that is repressing the sound, that is thinking, that has shame around, maybe I'm too loud, or maybe I sound too this or too that, and so you're like repressing the sound. So we don't want to be repressing it, and we don't want to be over exaggerating it to make it look like we're enjoying ourselves. Either end of the spectrum is going to disconnect us from our genuine experience, and therefore it's going to disconnect us from our partner, and it's going to disconnect us ultimately from pleasure, from incredible experiences through sex. So, but allowing sound, like inviting it, allowing it to flow through, and sound that is coming again from the belly. So throat, jaw, tongue, mouth is loose, relaxed and open, and sound is emerging from deep within you. So there's a couple of points to this. When we sound, especially when we sound low in our pitch range, not low in volume, but low in pitch. Like, that's not that you have to sound like this or anything, but low in pitch. It pushes like the diaphragm is pushing down, and the belly muscles are squeezed, and this pushes down on the pelvis. So this helps to stimulate the cervix and the upper end of the vagina from inside. So we have, like, I have many different practices that we can help to use sound as a way to stimulate sexual energy. But just this, like, basic, like, sounding pushes down, that stimulates the upper end of the vagina, and around the cervix there are many nerve endings. So cervical orgasms happen when there's stimulation to the cervix, and this spreads out through all these nerves. So we're literally pressing down, like massaging that from the inside, from already just from sounding. So that's another way to add physical stimulation to deep in the vagina. And also there is something called the vagus nerve, and this is a huge nerve that runs from our upper palate through the mouth, down through the throat, through the chest, and all the way down into the uterus and the cervix. So by sounding, we are literally using another tool like this through the vagus nerve to stimulate the cervix, to stimulate inside the vagina, which again is going to be expanding your pleasure, heightening your pleasure, like another way to bring an added level of sensation to your yoni. So yeah, like there's been a study where women that had had spinal cord injuries weren't orgasming through the usual ways because they didn't have that connection of the nerves that normally, many of the nerves travel through the spinal cord. So their body weren't able to orgasm through clitoral stimulation, because there wasn't that nerve connecting from there up to the brain. But the vagus nerve doesn't travel in the spinal column, so in the spinal cord. So these scientists, these researchers, realized that these women were actually having deep vaginal orgasms, and that was through stimulation of the vagus nerve, through this internal stimulation. So experiment with sounding, allowing, and like, I mean, I would add to that, I'm a singer, I would add to that, like, sing with open throat, open mouth, and get used to like just really opening it up, like just singing, like setting your voice free, because again this opens up this whole channel, and I speak about elsewhere, like the vagina and the mouth, the throat are connected. So what we are experiencing here can be reflected down here, and vice versa. It's like there is this connection physically and energetically. So experiment with sound and let me know what happens. So point 5 is the PC squeeze. So the PC muscles are there around the entrance to the vagina, a little bit further forward, a little bit further back, around the anus. So it's the pelvic floor muscles that kind of interlace like this, and they support underneath us, like they're at the bottom of the pelvis. They give this support, and when these muscles are stronger and more elastic, the capacity for pleasure is increased. There is more sensitivity, there is more ability to just we feel that much more. So you can so to find out where your PC muscles are, just to find out if you don't already know, like when you're weeing, you can squeeze the muscles there, and that will stop you peeing. So that's how to find them, and then you can just practice, like when you're not weeing, you can just practice when you're out and about, waiting at the bus stop, in a meeting, whatever it is. Just a squeeze them, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. You can do it on the in-breath, the out-breath. There's many different ways to do it. I'm not going to go into it here now. You can do it just like that with nothing in. You can do with Kegel balls. You can do it with a yoni egg, with weights inside that really help to strengthen that much more. And you can even start to work the muscles internally of the vagina as well, which opens up whole other realms. So yeah, experiment with that as well, like building up the muscles in your own time, and see how that affects the pleasure that you receive during sex. So to recap our 5 more tips for having more orgasms during sex. Number 1, honor your body. Honor your body. I can't say this enough. Honor your body and communicate it. Communicate that with your partner. Number 2, explore the breath. Work with the breath. Harness the power of the breath to open up expansive, multi-dimensional orgasms. Number 3, before sex, have some bridge to get into your body. So you're already in the body when you move into sex. Number 4, sounding. Set your sound free. Allow it, low sounds, and get that vagus nerve vibrating. And number 5, experiment with your PC muscle squeeze, practice tightening, contracting, releasing to build up the strength and elasticity. It's good for your health and it's good for your sex life. So I'm going to leave it here for now. If you found this useful, of value, please like and subscribe so that others have more chance to be able to find this video as well. If you want to dive deeper into these practices with me, I'm currently offering a 5-month program, deep dive program into awakening your sexual medicine. There's a link there in the comment section. And happy explorations. Enjoy your journey, and please let me know if you try out any of these in the comments. Let me know what's your experience. Okay, take care. Bye bye.